Guys, greet and Samuel. I'm your host and Give the Story Girl. I've always been saying that I'll read to you any of my stories or other people's stories. Today, I'm going to read to you one of my own story. The title of my story is Life in the Desert. If you enjoyed this story, please like it, share it. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not. And also click the notification bell to be the first person to get an alert when I drop any of my videos. We'll get into the story now. Life in the Desert, June 13, 2009. It was a Saturday and I had just woken up around 5 a.m. for I was fond of waking up early and never late. I had my bath and began to do my chores. When I was done, I went to every other person's room to check if anyone else had woken up. Luckily, no one had woken up. I then made my way to the living room and began to watch my favorite TV show. In less than 30 minutes, I heard the door creak from upstairs, and I quickly switched off the television, sat on the couch cross-legged, looking back to see who was coming down the stairs. "Harry, awake again at this early hour?" my mom said when she had reached where I was. "Yes, Mama," I said. "What have I told you times without number?" she asked, rather depressed. "A child needs plenty amount of rest," I replied. "Yes! Mama, I'm not a child anymore." "Oh, really?" "Yes, I'm 15, I replied proudly. My mom, now figuring that she had lost the fight, left for her room to continue her beauty sleep. It was 10 a.m. now, and everyone in my family had woken up, and we were now having our breakfast. I was the youngest in my family and the only son of Mr. and Mrs. Wilson. My parents had 4 children, namely Georgia, 19, Lola, 17, Nina, 17, that's because they are twins, and lastly, me, Harry, 15. Sometimes I wished I was the oldest because being the youngest sucks. About 13 p.m. now, and me and my family were at the National Art Fair. I wasn't really into art, but for some reason, everyone else in my family were. Yep, basically the odd one out. When we had returned from the art fair, I made my way to my room because I just had this urge to go to bed. I guess I was a bit worn out. June 14, 2009. I opened my eyes slowly and saw that I was laying on the ground, or should I say the sand, instead of my comfortable queen-sized bed. I was in a place with scorching heat and a massive amount of sand. I'm rather familiar with the term I was in the desert, and I had no idea how I got there or how I could get out. I began to scream for help. "Lola! Nina! Georgia! Dad! Mom! Anybody! Please help me!" I began to weep like I would never stop. After panicking for a long time, I found out I was with one of my dad's old suitcase, containing a worn-out tuxedo, some handkerchiefs, some sticks, and a pair of my dad's underwear. Oops, shouldn't have said that out loud. I also found out I was with my handset. My mom got me the phone last year. It sure did take me a long time to persuade her. I dialed my mom's phone number, only to hear, "Sorry, you currently do not have sufficient credit to complete this call." I had completely forgotten that I exhausted all my airtime and I was to ask my mom for a recharge card this morning. "Hello, Harry," a familiar voice called. I thought it was my mom who had answered the phone call, but apparently that wasn't possible, except in the magical realm. I turned my back and saw my best friend Charlie. I ran towards him and gave him a bear hug, saying, "Hello, Charlie." I had never been more than glad to see his rather plump face. "What are you doing here?" he asked in a straight manner, showing that I was disappointed that I decided to go out with my family yesterday instead of going to the movies with him. What are you doing here?" I asked, ignoring his question and the manner in which he asked it. Also ignoring my question, he grabbed my hand and began to run like a cheetah running from a lion with his friend, me, a very confused tortoise. After a few minutes, I gathered some strength and courage, a lot of courage, and dragged my cheetah friend to an halt. and asked why he was running so fast. "We got to get out of here, Harry," he replied, looking behind my shoulder to be sure no one or thing was around us. "Why?" I asked, much confused and really concerned. "It's the he replied, not able to complete his sentence due to fear. "Say it, Charlie, say it." I persuaded him, eager to hear what he had to say. "It's the beast," he stammered, whispering. "Beast?" I asked, unsure if there was anything like a beast. I was someone that didn't believe in mythical things, creatures, or stories. Charlie, not very much. "Yes, a big purple beast with an eye," he replied, using his hands to describe what he was saying. "Like that?" I asked fearfully, pointing at a big purple one-eyed beast with steam coming from his nose at Charlie's back. Charlie looked behind him and looked back at me, saying, "Yes, exactly like that," he replied, much calmer now. Realizing that a big purple beast was at his back, "Yes, exactly like that," he repeated, much fearfully this time. We began to run like two cheetahs running from a lion. After some minutes of non-stop running, we both came to an halt and figured we had lost the beast. We took deep breaths. Then I, fully recovered, chuckled and said jokingly, "I guess you were right about the beast." Charlie looked me in the eye, and before he could say a word, the big purple beast emerged from his back and grabbed Charlie with his ferocious claw and started to walk away. Standing where I was shocked, I screamed to the beast, "Take me instead! Leave Charlie alone!" 1. I wished what I said would never happen. 2. The beast can't hear English. Right? 3. And I just said that to make Charlie happy. I really didn't mean it. When the beast was out of sight, I began to sob. "I just want to go home," I said in the midst of my tears. I cried my heart out. June 14th, 2009. Still sobbing, I said, "I wish I was at home. The beast could have killed Charlie by now." I covered my face with my hand, still crying. "Harry! Harry! Harry!" A voice called. I didn't care who it was. I just ignored the voice. "Harry Peter Wilson," the voice called again. There's only one person that calls me that way, my dad. I opened my eyes and saw that I was in my bedroom. And guess what? My dad was at my door. Seeing that I was awake, he closed the door, saying, "Honey, he's awake now." I began to pounce on my bed. It was all a dream. Yes, I was extremely happy. I have never, ever loved being at home. But now, I wish I never leave it. No wonder the saying goes, you don't know what you have till you lose it. So, do you feel like you need a getaway from home adventure to make your life better? Let me tell you, be happy with what you have. That's all on Life in the Desert. So, don't forget to subscribe if you're a first timer, like it, share it, and see you next time.